Hey everybody, welcome to Reach and Reverie. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all had an amazing day and ate lots of food wherever you guys are. We enjoyed all of the Thanksgiving essentials, everything from moist turkey to corn pudding, some scalloped potatoes. It was just amazing. Can't forget the stuffing or the cranberry sauce. So today is such a beautiful day. It's probably mid-70s here that we actually ate outside. We ate in the shade under this table. At the time it was really sunny outside and it was almost too hot to be sitting out here eating lunch. And the crazy thing is we might get a frost tonight. That's how it goes out here in the fall, early winter in West Texas. Some days it is really hot outside and then some nights it gets a little chilly. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. What does that look? What is that? It's a good boy. You resting after full tummy. You got some turkey too, huh? In my last video, I introduced you guys to my little seed starts that we'd been working on for a little bit. They were hardening off. I had started them indoors, and hardening off is when you take young plants and you adjust them to the weather conditions that they're gonna have to live with outside. So a few hours at a time, you move them outside and let them get used to the different weather that you have in your area until they are old enough and strong enough to live outside full time. Now, this past weekend, I went ahead and I repotted my starts from their little growing containers into their permanent homes that they're gonna live in for the winter. Let me introduce you guys to them. I'm gonna start with these pots over here because I didn't move anything in these pots. These were already out planted on the last video. So we have some early sprouting purple broccoli. It's getting nice and big. They are pretty sturdy, but I do have little support sticks near them because we were getting 30-mile-an-hour wind this past week, and with as delicate as those little stems are, I didn't want them to be damaged with how windy it was. But they are doing great. They're strong. I also have a garnet rose red romaine growing here. I multiple sowed my romaine. I plan on, instead of harvesting full heads like you would traditionally do with lettuce, I plan on, once these get big enough, just kind of coming in with scissors and trimming off pieces or taking out outer leaves. That way we can have a longer season with this red romaine. It is absolutely stunning. It's a really rich, deep, almost maroon burgundy color, and it's just doing really good. All over this pot I also have what I think is kohlrabi. I planted a few seeds in the middle and around, and I think they got washed away, and I'm almost sure that that's what these are. I'm not sure yet though, so I'm gonna keep watching them grow and see if it is in fact kohlrabi. Maybe it's vinca. I did have vinca in this pot for my summer season, so we'll see. I'm gonna keep watching them grow and kind of see what they turn into. It has purple stems on most of these, and the variety of kohlrabi that I have is purple kohlrabi. My vincas were not purple, which is why I am thinking that maybe my kohlrabi just kind of washed over here, so we'll see what that is. In this other pot over here, I planted radishes around the outer edge, beets in a circle in the middle, and then carrots in the very middle. And my carrots have started coming up all over here. I can't remember what variety of carrot I grew. I have 3 varieties of carrot seeds. I think these were just regular typical orange carrots. I also have red carrots and dark purple black carrots. But I think these were just the regular ones. I've had pretty poor success growing carrots in the past, so I didn't want to waste my learning experience on any really expensive varieties of carrots, so I think these were just the regular orange ones until I can get the hang of growing carrots. This really nice fluffy soil. I also have those beets. I multiple sowed those. I'm probably gonna have to thin them out just a little bit. And then my radishes are also doing pretty good. Over the next probably 3 days, we're gonna have freezing weather temperatures at night, and I think our high for the next few days is only gonna be about 50 degrees in the afternoon. So I'm probably gonna cover these with some burlap, cover this with some burlap, And that brings us to the rest of what we are growing here this fall and winter. All right, everybody, so with the exception of a couple pots of cactus succulents, everything that I have in these pots over here are those starts that I introduced you guys to just a couple weeks ago. Those starts that we had were growing just in one flat on a table, and look at how much they've grown just in the past couple of weeks. This kale is actually from my last spring season, and he was still in my garden in this pot, and once I moved all of my other little guys to the big pots, I decided that he was kind of lonely in the garden with everything else gone, that I moved him over here so he can be with the rest of my plants for the winter. Let me show you what I have in each pot. So in this first pot, this is a little artichoke. And the next pot, we have another artichoke right here. And I did go and grab a couple more pansies from a locally grown source because I just love the color that pansies bring to a garden. We got some yellow flowers and some purple flowers, and I just think that's going to bring a little bit more color and pop to the garden, and I love that these were local. On the next row, I have some purple cauliflower, which is very strong and doing really well. We have that Butter Crunch lettuce that I did get from a farmer's market that I showed y'all last week. We have more purple cauliflower, more Butter Crunch lettuce. In this pot, I have two rainbow chards. We have a yellow and a red, and then this is some kind of spinach. I'm not sure what the variety is. I put all of these in one pot because they were doing really poorly, and instead of just throwing them out, I figured I'd give them a chance to grow. In general, I do feel that seeds and seedlings want to grow, so I put them in this pot. I didn't offer them as much space because they weren't showing as much potential as my other starts, but I did give them a pot for them to grow in. The spinach right here on the left looks like it's doing better. The spinach on the right, I don't know what that is. What in the world? But my Swiss chard is coming back, and so we are going to just kind of monitor these and, you know, give them the best opportunity to grow that we can offer them with the space that I have. In this pot, I have a curled kale. I think it's a Scotch kale. This is the same exact plant and variety from the same seed packet that I got that one over there from. So he's gonna get nice and big, hopefully, over this winter. I also have another purple cauliflower. So this here is a black king pansy. I did grow black king pansies last spring, and the flowers are supposed to be black, but on mine they were purple. So I don't know if that is a nutrition difference or if maybe my package of seeds were labeled wrong, but I did order the black king pansy and I got purple flowers instead of black flowers. So I'm curious to see, are these going to be black or are they also going to be purple? I'm not too particular. I really love pansies, so whatever color they turn out to be will be a nice addition to our little garden bed over here. But I am curious how these are going to turn out. And finally, in this last pot, I do have another curled Scotch kale and some muscloon lettuce. Now, the muscloon lettuce has surprised me. I thought these weren't going to be doing very well because in their starting little pot, they were really stunted, and since putting them in this pot, they've grown exponentially. I think they just need a little more room for their roots to stretch out. So this curled Scotch kale is really neat in that each one of these little notches in the stalk is a leaf that grew out of it. So I've been harvesting leaves off of this plant all year now, and he's really coming into his own this winter. Now that he doesn't have the pressure of pests, he was getting eaten up pretty bad during the heat of summer by worms and caterpillars. I had to keep picking him off and picking off those ugly leaves and giving them to the chickens as treats. But now that it's the winter, I've noticed that his leaves have gotten more solid. They've firmed up quite a bit. He overall looks a lot happier, so I'm excited to start harvesting some of these leaves as he gets really healthy again. Alright guys, I brought y'all to my back garden bed, and I wanted to give y'all an update on what I have growing in here. I did tell y'all last week that what I have sowed is I have 5 rows. We start off with some onion. I think it's bunching onion is what I planted. The second row we have red beets. The third row is carrots. The fourth row is kohlrabi, the purple kohlrabi. And the fifth row are some general turnips. Alright guys, I had to go in and charge my camera for a little bit because it died while I was trying to show you my garden. So I'm gonna get back to it. I just told y'all what all we have planted. Let me show you what's starting to sprout. You can see right there. There's a few more here. And then as we go down, I'm seeing more little sprouts starting to pop up. This row is my purple kohlrabi. So that's exciting. I'm seeing the purple kohlrabi coming up. I'm not seeing anything else yet. However, it has been about a week and a half since I've sowed these. And I know carrots, for example, can take 14 to 21 days to sprout. So we still have time to see some of these start coming up. So depending on where you live, you can actually grow year-round. Brassicas, like broccoli and cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, or things like lettuces, your kale, your spinach, they can actually handle frosts. And where we live in zone 8B, the coldest that we can expect to get through the winter, in the coldest part of winter, 15 to 20 degrees. Kale can survive temperatures as cold as 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Broccoli is fine when it gets down to as low as 19 degrees. So as long as we don't get that low, established plants should be able to do fine. Now, because my plants are still considered seedlings, they're still quite young, I do want to try to protect them just a little bit to give them the best chance of success. Growing a little later in the season like I am means that it might just take my plants a little longer to develop. They might grow just a little more slowly, but because they're getting touched and kissed by a little bit of frost, they should taste even better. So because we're going to get down to freezing temperatures, possibly into the 20s, what I did was I went ahead and put some stakes in these pots, and I'm actually going to throw a bed sheet that Dyson's laying on over this just to create a little pocket of air to kind of help insulate these guys for the evening. Tomorrow morning I'm going to take the cover off. We're expecting to jump back up into the 50s tomorrow, and I'll let them absorb the sunlight. And probably over the next 3 or 4 days I am just going to go ahead and continue covering them with a bed sheet at night. Next week we're going to be back into the 70s and possibly 80s. That's just how it goes out in West Texas like this. Oh, I'm so happy that my carrots are coming up, guys. I'm so bad at growing carrots. So when I look over and see a little dash of green, I get really excited. Look at that. They're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. Now I know some of you guys are just on here to see my adorable little chickens, so let's go say hi to them. Now that we have these two next to each other, look at how the difference in Mary's feathers versus Molly. Both of these chickens are the same color, and you can see that Mary, her new feathers are growing in darker. You see that? How she's almost like cream now instead of white. You can see this is Myrtle. Her feathers are coming in really nicely. She's always been lighter than our other two reds, but her new feathers are even lighter than her old ones, which is pretty cool. Good girls. Now you can see here again, Miss Mary versus Molly. Look at how light Molly is. But when she molts, she'll get some darker colors as well, I bet. Alright guys, so my GoPro died again because I basically charged it for like 15 minutes just so I could finish off my video, and then I was recording and it died again. So I am using cell phone to finish this video, so bear with me. I'm doing a video today. Now I need to put these girls away because it is sunset, which means that our owl is going to start hunting here pretty soon. Come on, girls. Let's go. I'm going to try not to step on them. I have to look down while I walk because they will walk in front of me. Did I make it? Looks like you all made it. Now it's where I have to give them treats. They know to come when called, but they don't want to get put up because they don't really like confinement very much. It's for your safety, guys. So first, I watch my step and I come over here to the alfalfa. And throw this in here. And then this. Come on, girls, get in. Let's go. Come on, get in. Get in. Get in. Good girls. I need to clean this out. They have a ton of bedding, but that's okay. I can do that this weekend. Yasha, let's go. Come on. It's bedtime. It's bedtime. And we close them up. Throw in one more handful. All right, girls, I see 3 reds, 3 whites, and 3 grayscales. That's 9. I'll put this right here, and I'll come check on them when it gets dark so I can close that door behind them for the night. Good night, girls. I was telling you guys that we do have a couple of owls that live in our front yard. I am going to post a video really soon showing you the footage and the images that we've caught of these owls. They are really magnificent, beautiful animals. I just don't feel very comfortable with how close they are to us. So I'm going to let y'all guys see how big they are. They are majestic. They are regal. They are really noble animals. But man, they scare me so bad when I see or hear them hooting overhead. And they have this really interesting routine. Probably about 20 minutes from now, they're going to fly out of that tree and start hooting on the power lines in the front yard. And then 10 minutes later, they're going to fly through our yard and go to the trees in our neighbor's yard and sit there and hoot, and they just watch our yard. Sometimes they sit on the post right above our chicken coop, and it really freaks us out. But I will share that footage with you guys just so y'all can see what we're talking about here. I think it is a mating pair of owls. They've been here for at least the 3 years that we've lived here. My neighbor said that they've seen them for years longer, so it's a really nice established pair of owls, and they're only here seasonally, which is interesting because owls don't migrate, is what everywhere that I've looked at says. Nowhere I can find shows where owls migrate, but we never see them in the spring or the summer. It's really just in the fall and the winter, which is really interesting. So I'll share that with you guys. Stay tuned. That footage is coming up. Look, guys, we got 4 eggs today. Hey, are you excited to see me? He's excited to see eggs. You think these eggs are for you? Most excited I've seen you with me coming out of this gate all day. Is it because I have balls in my hands? His favorite toy is tennis balls, bouncy balls. These are not toys, buddy. These are not for you. It's Thanksgiving. You don't want turkey? Turkey is much better than raw eggs. Are you trying to be sweet and be patient? He says, I'm not looking at them, but I do want them. Oh, you're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. These are not for you. So we got Mary, Molly, Pip, and Odette who laid today. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and stay tuned. I'll see you guys next time.